So, in the midst of the GeoGuessr videos that we'll be continuing to go after Game 4, I want to do something a little different today. Go through my favorite player on all 32 teams. So let's get right into it. With 40, you got a lot of players to choose from. My personal favorite, Gus Forsling. I really do like Lindell. Verhage is also great. Reinhardt. Kyle Okposo, obviously glad he finally got his Stanley Cup, but Gus Forsling is a player who I really like. Toronto. Willie Nylander. Also, he played in every regular season game. Came up really clutch. That's an ugly hand. Came up really clutch late in the Boston series. Did not lead to a win, but he played very well in that series. So it's got to be Nylander in Toronto. For Boston, a few months ago maybe, I'd have even said Charlie McAvoy, but now it's got to be Jeremy Swayman. He went to University of Maine, grew up in Alaska. We will miss the bear hug. They have both said that out of respect for each other, they will not do it with their backup goalie. As for Detroit, it's boring, but it's got to be Patrick Kane. I thought about Raymond. I thought about Larkin. I thought about David Perron. They'd all be great options, but I think Kane does it for me. What he's done in Chicago is inspiring, and Lucas Raymond, close second. As for Tampa, Brain Point. It would have been Sergachev last year. Hagel is a good choice. There are a lot of great choices, such as Vasi as well. And now for Ottawa, should be pretty obvious. Ullmark and Swayman were two of my favorite players in the league last year for sure. And Ullmark going to Ottawa does not change that whatsoever. Maybe he can propel them into a playoff spot. As for Buffalo, the workhorse from Whitehorse, Dylan Cousins. And they're going to get crooked as we get lower because I have less space for my elbow. And then Nick Suzuki for Montreal for similar reasons. I just really like their games. They're really fun to watch. Putting it plain and simple. For the Rangers, Shesterkin. So we got one goalie, two goalie, three goalie. Goalies, I have a lot of respect for goalies, absolutely. Shesterkin is no exception. He had a great playoff run last year. They just need a little bit more scoring to back him up in the Florida series, but otherwise, all good there. Carolina, other than Jeremy Swayman, probably my favorite player in the National Hockey League. Big fan of Jacob Slavin. Wins the Lady Byng, very gentlemanly play there. Which is not necessarily the whole reason. He is very, very charismatic guy. And then obviously, I would have loved to see him in the conversation for the Norris. He doesn't necessarily score enough to get Norris voting, which I still think he should. New Jersey. Nico Hischier. Both of the Hughes brothers are great options. Dougie Hamilton is a great option. With New Jersey having fixed their goaltending situation, I think they should be back in the playoffs next season. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all to see New Jersey jump back into the playoffs. Luke Hughes is a great second choice there. Islanders. So for the Islanders, I would have said Bo Horvat. I would have said Anders Lee. But for me, Barzal. Again, some of these are because they're really nice guys, and some of them are because they're really fun to watch. All four of these guys fall into the latter column for me. for the Capitals. Ovechkin. And so obviously TJ Oshie, I'm a big fan of as well as Dylan Strome. I like McMichael, but Ovechkin is the guy for me. Shocker. And yeah, Pittsburgh. You think I'm going to say Sidney Crosby? And you'd be right about that. I don't have a script. I didn't plan out who I was going to say for all of you, so just going through them now. Crosby, again, really fun guy to watch. Crosby, Ovechkin, in my time watching the league, I haven't seen like the full force of the rivalry between the two, but seeing it now, and it's just as grand as the people are making it out to be. For Philly, Garnet Hathaway. For one simple reason, he's from Maine. He grew up in Kennebunkport. I think that's awesome. So I will be a little bit biased to people that have ties back to Maine, but I think Hathaway is the guy there. As for Columbus, Zach Werenski. So Werenski he's been doomed with some injuries. I would love to see Columbus come back up into the playoffs. I don't know if it happens next year. I don't think, obviously the Buffalo drought, I don't think it's going to be as common to see double-digit year playoff droughts with so much talent, so many talented teams in the league. I don't think double-digit playoff drought is going to be as big a deal in a couple of years. Colorado. Cale Makar. How could you not say it? McKinnon, also a great choice. Rantanen, I probably would have said Landeskog. I don't think he qualifies for this, but Makar, definitely a great player. Like him a lot. As for Dallas, Wyatt Johnston. Certainly, he showed how much potential he really does have last year in the playoffs. He's the future of this team. So Dallas fans, I think they're going to be threatening for a Stanley Cup next year. Maybe they even win it. And I think part of that's going to be due to the success of Wyatt Johnston. As for Winnipeg, no. Not Kyle Connor. Gabe Vilardi. I could have gone Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor, obviously, a close second, but Vilardi is. The Jets are showing like they won the Dubois trade from last year. Now, obviously, getting a chance to play in DC. But Vilardi, I like him a lot there. St. Louis. Kyrie. And I know it's potentially a little bit boring, but again, he's a great player. Love to watch him play. For Minnesota, Kaprizov is a tempting answer. But I think I'm going to go for him. So, Kaprizov didn't have quite the year that Wild fans would have hoped he would have last year. Maybe he can rebound for next year. If he does, that'll be to Minnesota's benefit. I think Minnesota, I don't think they'll be in the playoffs anytime soon. I think they made it in 2023. And they were out of it. They were out of it last year. And I think they're on their way out. I think this is a team that's getting further away from the playoffs as opposed to closer to them. Not Nashville. Marchessault. So for the purpose of Nashville, I did allow myself to say Marchessault, even though he has not played a game. In Nashville, Nashville is definitely a team. I would not be surprised if they win the division. Obviously, Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg are going to try to change that. I would not be surprised if Nashville wins the division at all. They made some great additions. Haven't lost much. If they could get the very, very best out of their players, especially with Stamkos, then they conference final. Why not? This is a team that they did maybe a little bit of a rushed rebuild, which can be a risk, but seemingly it's paying off for Nashville. Utah. Jersey. Not much to add. He's has a great play style. I think that he's going to be a big part. Utah's going to be taking a step forward this year. Absolutely. Playoffs. They're going to be playing important games in March. I don't think they quite make it in next year because they'll have to dislodge a team that made it last year. LA might be the only one, but LA could pretty quickly get replaced by another up-and-coming team or a team that bounces back. Seattle. For Chicago, it's Bedard. Really excited to watch him play. Sorry, that's crooked. Let's start in San Jose. I could say Celebrini, but I'm going to go for Ferraro. He's, again, like, oh, that was a bad idea, because now I'm going to smudge everything. That's fine. Edmonton. Cody Ceci. I know the D pairing of he and Nurse is going to get a lot of whiplash, because it didn't really work in the Stanley Cup final, but they figured that out. Vancouver. Brock Besser. Had he played round 2, game 7, they would have won that game. Obviously, it's hypothetical. We will never know. Edmonton won that game. That will never change. But Besser would have... That loss hurt them in that game. It really did. And had it been a conference final between them and Dallas, Dallas would have likely won that series to go on and play Florida. Maybe they win that. Vegas. Eichel. So again, he did as much as he could in Buffalo and decided, nope, I want to win. So he went to Vegas, which is fine. But as for Anaheim, let's go back down here. Zegers. How could you not appreciate all the lacrosse goals he scored? It's truly special to watch him play with his speed and his talent, his hockey IQ. LA, Quinton Byfield. It's gotta be. Young guy, he scored a beautiful goal, numerous beautiful goals. I expect him to do that a lot more next season, undisputably. For Seattle, Beniers. So, in his first 2 seasons, he won the Calder, and then he took a big step back. Is the Calder season the outlier, or is last season the outlier? We'll find that out this season. Seattle is going to be threatening for a playoff spot again. For Calgary. Love Dustin Wolf. Great goaltender. Dan Vladar is great, obviously, with Markstrom heading over to New Jersey. That's a big loss, but now it puts more pressure on Vladar, and Wolf gives them the spotlight more, and I think they can flourish in that. So with that, favorite player on all 32 NHL teams, get your screenshots. And so that's it. I like the style of video. The next few videos on the channel will be finishing out that GeoGuessr series.